Okay, is it fine with you all? Yeah, I'll also cover this, Navneet, 75% of program. Can you please tell me which particular part you want me to explain in this? Everyone else, are you clear with this particular program of 0.75? Yes. So Navneet, for you, I'll try to explain this in a more simpler way so that you can able to do this. But the more important thing that I need to cover today, okay, Max says, okay. Okay, so you have this particular doubt. I'll open this particular assignment and I'll explain that as well. Okay. Okay. Also, how to create the program, create a program to print all the palindromes under 50. So palindromes is not something yet covered, but if it's being given in your particular program or assignment, I'll look into it. Okay. Okay. Am I clear with this point? Up to this point, am I clear? Anna? Okay. Any other point that you want me to cover? Any other point that you want me to cover for today? Anyone? I think so. There's not much people today. I think so. Everyone else points are clear, right? Every points are clear, Anna? And you are getting the gist also, like in which particular direction we are moving ahead, Anna? I think so. It should be clear with you because we have covered almost many things in particular this particular course, and we have also met some of the core principles, and we have also learned that. So it should be clear with you now up to this point. Functional expression. Function expression. What do you mean by that, Ravina? You mean yesterday I taught you about that particular way to create a function with the variable, है ना? You meant this? Okay, 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 okay. So I'll also explain the functional. If you note it down, functional expression. Then something is called as a nested loop. Okay, nested loop also I'll cover. So let me share my screen now. I think so 37 people have joined till now. Will not wait more for further. I'll share my entire screen now. Okay, am I visible? Am I visible now? And I have something to show you today. I have something to show you today. This is the assignment that was sent. Okay. And it was another tabs. Okay. I have something to show you today. Before that, in this particular functional expression, I'll try to explain this in another way, and I have something to show in this particular topic also. Okay. When we'll cover this, I'll explain you that. So 1 plus 10 will work if 1, I'll give 10 in single quotes slides before this expression. So Mac, what do you think? What do you think should happen in this? Okay, try to exaggerate your capabilities in terms of. Have you tried with this? Have you tried with this in your console? No, right? So please try this. Yeah, you can try this. I don't think so it will work because 1 is not an integer, you know, that's why you should try this actually. Okay, so first topic for today that will cover the hosting. Okay, so let me just first tell you in brief what do you mean by the hosting. You know, hosting in JavaScript is something what we meant by the term hosting. It's very important term. It's a very useful particular process in terms of your interview as well. Okay, so JavaScript hosting, it refers to the process whereby the interpreter or compiler appears to move the declaration part of function or variables on top of, like, to the top of that scope prior to the execution of the code. That means uh, you can access something before it is declared. You know, you can access something before it has been declared. Let me just open with my board. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Okay, so we'll first learn what do you mean by this hosting, what this term is hosting. So as I said that hosting in JavaScript is something that enables us to call functions or variables or anything before they appear in the code, है ना? इसी को तो हम बोलते हैं hosting, है ना? This is something we call as hosting, right? It will enable us to call our function or access our function or invoke our function before they appear in the code, है ना? This is something what we have tried, yes, no? है ना? This is something we have tried, yes, no? People, please participate. Good morning. Everyone, I want answer from everyone. Okay, so just tell me, people, now that what would be output of this. Since I have explained yesterday hosting everything about this, I'll just tweak my questions and I'll make you unable to answer my questions. Okay, if I'll declare a variable called as taste, if I'm trying to access this before, in the top of that console.log taste. Okay, so what would be output of this? Can anyone tell me, please? Undefined, right? Enough. Okay, now if I am doing this particular thing that I have a equals to 5, then I have console.log a, and I'm trying to declare my variable here a here. Okay, so what would be output of this? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me what would be output of this? 5, right? But what if I'm doing the where a, then a is equals to 5, and I'm trying to access now console.log is a. What should be output of this? Correct? 5, right? This is pretty much simple because this is not a part of hosting. But in this particular case, you are trying to access your variable. It is declared here, but you are trying to access here, right? Yes, no? Yes? Okay. Now, if I'm doing this, that sir, please tell me the output of this suppose I have where a is equals to 4, then I have a function. The name of the function here is great. Inside of this function, I am declaring a variable called as b is equals to hello and console dot log b, and here where b. I'm trying to call this function now that let's say read, and I'm declaring like I'm doing console dot log b here. Can anyone tell me the output of this, please? Can anybody tell me the output of this? Error. You have two outputs, right? First one for this, second one for this, है ना? So tell me the two outputs. Mehak, okay, Mehak says cause P is not defined in the main program. Okay, but it's defined here, Mehak. Okay, so many of you guys are telling me that the first scope is output would be hello and error. These are the people are telling. 50% of people are telling me this. 20% of people are telling me this, that output would be hello and hello, and rest of the 30% of people, they are blank. They are not participating. Okay, so who all are saying that output would be this? How many of people you are telling me that your output would be this? Okay, ठीक है. Now, Mac, can you please tell me that no, you just said that B is not defined in the global scope. What do you mean by that? Since see, I have declared B here, there is a particular B here. I have declared B here, and I'm trying to access it here. What does it make difference? Can you please tell me? How does it make a difference? People, am I clear with the question or not? Okay, B is in the local scope inside a function. That's perfectly fine, Mahek or Parag. Yeah, Parag, you are absolutely true. B is inside the scope of the function. That means B has a local scope, and you are trying to access it in the global scope. You remember yesterday I told you that what is the global scope? Anything that you have in this particular point, in this particular program, anything you have declared in this, it will be on the global scope. Now, whichever declaration or whichever function or whichever variable you are declaring inside this scope, between of this scope, it would be called as a local scope. Once this will be executed, this particular curly braces would be executed, the closing curly bracket, this B will be destroyed, right or not? ठीक है ना? ठीक है? So this particular point is clear now, everyone, and have you all tried the particular thing that is the debugger? Yesterday I explained you everything with debugger and scope, and inside the scope also you can try to access this B. You will not find it. It will destroy after this. Try to debug the thing, and after executing this line, your B will be destroyed. Yeah, where has a global scope? Where has a global scope? No doubt on that. But inside of this block only, it has a global scope. Outside of this block, it cannot execute anything. Okay, so in this particular case, where has a functional scope, or you can say global scope, but between of this only, है ना, it's nothing but a functional scope. ठीक है? Yes, no, right or not? So your output would be this. Outside of this particular block, you cannot access B. Yes, no, people. Everyone, once where it defined in the function, it has a function scope. Yes, correct. Okay, so that's what I was telling you since this entire week, that please make a habit of executing the program through debugger and be a manual debugger as well. Don't just rely on the JavaScript debugger or browser debugger. Compile your program in your side of mind as well. Run your program in your mind. B will be not defined, right? Yeah, so you will have this particular error, that is something called as this much error, uncaught error, uncaught reference error. B is not defined. You will have this particular error. You can also run this inside a program. See, I remember the I remember the error as well. Which particular error you will execute, like which particular error you will have, you can also tell me. So in this particular case, you will have this error. You should able to guess that which particular error you have. Okay. Mehak, yeah, I'll explain this as well. I have keep in mind in this. Let me just write it again. It is giving me output as nan. Okay. Okay, I'll explain you this. Okay, so regarding the hosting, everyone is clear? Mac, it was Nana, I think so. It was your doubt or not? I'm not recalling that. Can anyone tell me? Everyone is clear? Everyone? No? Taken? Okay. Now, the second thing that we had was the program, this particular program that we had. Let's just copy this and let me open the Firefox. Shantanu, okay, I'll also take this. Shantanu, have you tried with the debugger? Shantanu? If you have some doubt, then and then only I can take this up. But you should have debugged this program from your own as well. What is the use of hosting? Sharath? Okay, that's nice question. What is the use of hosting? So what do you think? I explained earlier in the yesterday's class, but I just want answer from you guys. What is the use of hosting in JavaScript? What is the use of the hosting? Hello, are you there, everyone? So please participate. We can declare afterwards. So I'm asking you, what is the use of the hosting? Yes, Parag, that's correct. What hosting is just a concept of accessing. That's perfectly fine. But apart from this as well, since I have also yesterday explained you, and let me just be clear in this particular point. When you are working in the real world or real project, you have some functions or you have some resources or you have some variables that you are declaring in any point of time in your particular program. Let's say you have a program of 5 lakhs of line, okay? 5 lakhs of line in just one file, okay? So you will be getting confused where your execution is starting, So in this particular case where your program is really big that you cannot able to manage that, in this particular case, you can access your functions safely. You can use this particular function safely inside your code, in your code or in your particular function before they're declared. It should not give you some error, because since it is declaring afterwards and you are accessing before that. So there are particular functions that are meant for this as well. When we when we develop our first app, that would be our e-commerce app. I think so in the few sessions we will able to develop this particular app. We'll together work on this, on the UI part, some of the UI part. Then also we are making some APIs in that, and we will also work with the Node.js a bit, so in this particular case we'll declare a lot of functions. We'll dealing with a lot of APIs. We're dealing with a lot of third-party libraries. In this particular case, I will explain you what is the need of this. But for now, you can understand that whenever you have such requirement where you want to access something before it is declared, you can use this particular concept that is called as hosting. Okay. Okay, what is the order in which the lines of the program will be executed if we first call the function and declare? Mac, yesterday you remember I declared one function, two functions. Inside this two functions, one was the conventional function, second was the function expression, and we also had one variable. We debugged everything together. Remember? Remember or not? Hello, I didn't understand that properly. Okay, so Mac, I'm telling you that okay, let me open this. I think so. I had this in my particular console part. I should have this. Okay, this one. You remember this program that we have run? That we have run yesterday? Are you there yesterday? You were there yesterday or not? Mac? You were there, right? So we ran this program, right? So you remember how this particular scope of test would be assigned, how this particular scope of grid would be assigned. When JavaScript will run initially in the first part, it will scan through the program. It will make a note of functions and variables. Let's say in the test, it will also make a note of this grid. It will also make note of this grid one, right? Since this grid doesn't have this assignment operator, it will assign entire function of reference in the scope. We also saw that yesterday, right? And when it will run through this particular lines, it will assign or it will lock the value as it is. But inside of this case, grid one, it will throw error, because since where grid one will be act as a variable, so it will throw an error of that grid one is not a function. I hope this is clear with you all. We saw this in detail yesterday. You remember now? Yes? Okay, cool. Okay. It's apply only for function that we can access before declare, but not in case of variable, correct? We can access before. Yeah, you can say that. Because inside in this function case, it will assign or it will it will store a value or reference of this particular lines, that whenever this grid will come, you have to go in this line and you can execute. But in case of functions and in case of variables, it cannot, because this variables by default value would be undefined, so that you will have this particular answer here as undefined, and here as function is grid one is not a function. I hope am I clear with this point? Correct. Okay. It will keep only functions in the log. It will keep variables also in the log, but it will not assign its value. You can also saw that, right? We saw this, that test is also locked in the scope, but its value would be undefined. But in case of this grid, You will have the entire function. Remember it, Likit? So all the variables would also be, assigned, variables would also be in the scope. It will also be logged in the scope, but it's by default with its by default value. Correct? Since it's having the assignment operator, you cannot have anything apart from this assignment in this variable, right? No? True? Okay. Okay, so up to this point, everyone is clear? Deepak, where has every scopes? Block, global, functional, every scope. It's depend on you where you are accessing that. So as I have explained in this particular point that, which one? Yeah, and this one. So in this case, if you see this where B, now if you, in this particular case, if you see this where B, then it has a functional scope because it is embedded into this, in this, but this A has a global scope because A has in the, A is in the top of the variable or top of the scope or top of the code. Now you should check that, whenever this variable comes, it is nested in this any block or not. It is nested in block or not. If it's yes, then it is not having global scope. See this variable A, it is nested in any block? No, right? That is why it has a global scope. Am I clear, Deepak? Deepak, am I clear? Yes, cool. Okay. So up to this point, I think so there is no doubt. So we can move ahead with this particular program. Let me copy with this in this, and let's debug that. Who was that? Like whose doubt is this? Who was the one that doubt of this? Okay, Navneet. If B is not declared, it would be considered global. In this particular case, you are asking me, Vishal, if B is not declared, but you are trying to access it here. If it's not declared, then anyway, it will show you some error, right? You cannot access anything like this. B. Let's say you run like this, you cannot access anything. If you try to access it just like this. Now, if you try to access this, it will show you error that B is not defined. You can do this anyway, like you can assign it, then you can run this. See? Okay, Vishal? If you want to access it just only with B, then you have to have this particular where letter const. But if you are dealing with assignment, then by default it's a where scope or where variable it will be having. So it will have a global scope. Okay, am I clear with this? Okay, now let's do with this. So Navneet has this doubt that where sum equals to 0, and he has initialized a loop. Inside this where I equals to 0, j equals to 0, this is particular initialization part, right? In this condition part, he has I less than equals to I less than 10. This will be second end, and this would not be there. The semicolon would not be there, because this is a completely part of the condition part, right? Navneet, are you with me? Till this point, what I have rectified in your program. Then you have the plus I, and j is equals to I plus 2. Okay? And you are trying to access this console.log I, console.log j, and sum plus is equals to I. That means sum is equals to sum plus I. Right or not? It will anyway mean that sum is equals to sum plus I, right? So what kind of problem you are facing in this, Navneet? Can you please tell me? I'm not able to, no, I will not run this program now. We'll just debug it first in our mind, and I'll tell you what is the problem. Yeah, syntax error. Okay, I don't think so. In this particular part, you have syntax error, right? You have rectified this program. Let me run this. If you have syntax error, then let me look into this. No, it will run correctly, right? Because you didn't, you have put this particular thing. See, you have this particular thing, then, okay. Let me just copy this. Navneet, see, in any loop, as I have explained you, as I have taught you, in any loop, there are three particular parts. First one is initialization. Second one is what? Everyone, what is the second part in the loop? Condition, right? What is the third part? Increment or decrement, correct? So these three parts would be separated with what? This semicolon, right or not? Correct? Okay. So see in this program. Now we will debug this where I is equals to 0. Okay. Is initialized variable I equals to 0. Then j equals to 0. That's right. Now he has encountered this semicolon. That means your initialization part would be over, right? Now you are in the condition part. Correct or not? Yes. Now you have I less than 10. Okay, this is your condition, fine. Then you have also put this semicolon. That means your condition part is over now. Now you are in increment or decrement part. Correct or not? In this particular increment or decrement part, you are doing this end and j less than equals to 10. Then again you have this semicolon. Do we have anything in the fourth? No, right? And can anything cannot be start with this. This is a conditional operator. So it should have in the left hand side as well as in the right hand side. Right or not? So that is why there is a reason why it is showing you the syntax error. Are you getting now? Navneet, what was your mistake? Okay, so try to debug by this. You will have your entire answer in front of you. It's pretty simple. Programming is really simple. Unless you are you are not doing proper thing, you are not understanding the concepts, you are not debugging your own code, then you will feel that programming is it's a bit tough. But otherwise, it's just a piece of cake for everyone. Okay, everyone. Navneet, now you're fine with me. Navneet, you can think that this particular thing would be given in your question. You can right now you can think of that, although it won't, but right now you can think that it would be given in your particular program. Or if you just want to debug this, then see, you have your 75% of criteria. You want to meet that, and in your question you are given that in your a variable or in your m variable, it is given that the total number of lectures that has happened till now. In the end, you have the total number of attended lecture. Okay, so you want to find that how many lectures are needed to attend this 75% of criteria. So first of all, you need to find the 75% of criteria with this total number. Now, so you will find 75% of total number of lectures that has happened till now. That means 75% of m. This is nothing but the 0.75 into m. You'll do this only because 75% of m is what? 75 divided by 100 into m. This 75 divided by 100 is what? 0.75 into m. Okay. Now we will check whether your particular total number of attended lectures are sufficient or not. So you will do what? Minus n and you will divide it by 0.25. That is all. That is your answer. And for the case of this math.ceiling, you will do for rounding off. Okay. But if you are not able to understand this formula, then it's okay. You can consider that it is being given in your question. I'm still confused why we'll use hosting. Okay, I will explain again, Deepak, for you. Okay, na? Okay. So Deepak, for you, I'm explaining again the concept of hosting. Deepak, you were there yesterday or not? And yeah, before that, Parag, are you clear with this particular point that I have explained? You also had this doubt, right? I remember that. Parag, can you please participate? Got it in between, yeah? Okay. So Deepak, for you, I'm explaining again what is the meaning of the hosting. And yeah, one more thing that I was, I can tell you that whenever you have this particular doubt of understanding any concept, so you can just search like this, that hosting in JavaScript. Okay, you can just search by this. You will find many links. Out of this, you can open this Mozilla link. Okay, it's developer.mozilla.org, and it has a hosting. Can you see my screen now, people? Okay. So see, what they have written is JavaScript hosting refers to the process whereby the interpreter appears to move the declaration of functions, variables, and classes to the top of their scope prior to the execution of the code. So it ultimately allows function to be safely used in the code before they are declared. That's correct. Now we'll see the example. See, they have declared this particular cat named Tiger. They have declared this here. So you are accessing the cat name Tiger, this particular cat name function, before it is declared. Okay. So that means that whenever this cat name will call, in the name argument or in the name parameter, you have the Tiger. It will print console.log. My cat's name is Tiger. It will print this because it's a normal function. But apart from this, if I'll have this particular case where you will have the console.log number, where number, okay, you have accessed the number before it has been declared, okay? Number equals to 6, then again you are trying to access console.log num. So for this case, since number, when JavaScript will run this program, let me just take the copy of this. When JavaScript will run this program, it will first scan through the program. In the scope, Deepak, in the scope, it will log the variable or end the function. Since it does not have any function, it will just log a variable called as num. By default, the value of it is what? Undefined, right? Okay. Okay, yes or no? Deepak, are you with me till this point? Okay, cool. Okay, great. So now if you are trying to console.log num, what it will print? What it will print? What is the value of num right now? Undefined, right? Now, since where num, this will not make any difference with the num because where num is anyway undefined, right? Now this line would be anyway remain this num as undefined, right or not? Deepak? Deepak, yes? Okay. Now you are assigning the 6 value to the num. So right hand side value would be assigned to the num. That means undefined would not be anywhere accessed. It will replace by the 6. Okay. Now if you're trying to do console.log num, it will print what? 6 or undefined. Right now, what is the value of num? 6, right? So it will print 6 only. Okay. So you can read from this particular site. It has plenty of it's the own website of Mozilla. We are using the browser of Mozilla only. So you can also try the many examples from this as well. It will be much clear for you. Deepak, am I clear with this? So one thing I need to know, we are declaring num. after invoking, we are declaring num after invoking. Why it is not showing non-defined instead of undefined? Okay, Niranjan, that is not a good question to be honest, but I'll explain you. See, Nilanjan, can you please tell me that if I'm doing this, where test, what it will give me the output? If I'm doing now console dot log test, what's the output of this, Nilanjan? Undefined, right? So it is not giving you the output of not defined. Yes, no? First of all, you need to understand the difference between undefined and not defined. Okay? So what is undefined? I'm telling you that if you are doing this where test, that means you tell the interpreter that, sir, test is my variable. The default value of the test, any variable would be undefined. That's why the by default value of this would be undefined. But if you're just doing this test, then it is like rude way to access JavaScript. So it will show you error that this test is not defined. Okay, but instead of this, if you do this where test console.log test, so you are telling JavaScript that, sir, since I have not assigned any value to test, but I'm telling you that this is a variable, so you can show me the default value only. That means the undefined only. Correct or not, Nilanjan? Yes. Okay. Now, coming to your question, that why it has not printed the not defined here. So see, I told you that first of all, JavaScript will scan through the programs. So if you want to see, like I'm just writing the program as it is. So I'm just copying from the this one. Okay, I'm copying this. Okay, and I'm pasting this here. I'm removing this comments. Okay. Now see, if I'm putting debugger here, and if I'll copy this and run in this particular Brave or Chrome, see, I told you that JavaScript will scan through the program, scan through entire program, and it will make a log of this num. So you can see this scope. Inside this scope, you have the global thing. You can go to the S O P Q R S. Okay, so scope would be anywhere be defined here, anywhere. Sorry, num. So we have to go with the N. So sorry. This N. Okay, so see, this is num. So num is logged. Since num is variable, so it is by default declared undefined. Niranjan, you with me? It will scan through the program and it will just execute this, that where num. So num is what? Undefined, right? It will just log the num variable. It will just by default, it will make a default value, like let's say undefined only, right? Now, if you try to access this particular thing, you will have an output as undefined. Okay, but in this particular case, now if you try to debug this, you can see this is an assignment operator, right? So now you see the num variable. Now you will see that it has been assigned, right? That's why it is printing now the 6. True, correct? Got it now? Okay, okay, cool. So yeah, this is being clear, right? This is clear. Hosting is also clear. Okay, now coming to your assignment problem. See, this assignment has not been given to me. I need to just first see the program and I need to see that whether it has been covered in your class or not. So just bear with me for one day for this, and just try to inform Anshul about this. He will pass on the assignment to me. I'll look on the question. I'll get back to you in the Monday's class. First, we'll solve this and then we'll move our lecture ahead. Is it okay? Because palindrome is not yet covered also. It will covered by the Monday's class. ठीक है ना? Cool. But don't forget to remind Anshul about this. We'll pass on the assignment to me, and just tell the question number that you have the doubt in the doubt. Okay. Now coming to this point, that is functional expression. Okay. So functional expression. So can anybody tell me what is functional expression? What is functional expression? Can anybody from here can tell me what is functional expression? Okay, before that, let's just start with the functional declaration, right? Because those both things are interconnected. So you will have more clarity on this. Okay, so what is functional declaration? That we'll first see. That means functional declaration by which you can define your function with the specified parameters without requiring a variable assignment. And functional declaration also you can see, like you can declare something like this. The syntax is this, that function, then your particular function name, that is by default it will be the test. Okay, I'm giving the test. Inside you have the parameters, that means the parameter 1 comma parameter 2 by default, and I'm just giving the example hypothetically. Inside of this you will have your logic. Okay, so this is something what is called as function declaration. Yes, no? That means how you will declare your function, right? But now second thing, you will have your what? Your functional expression. So it is just works just like a functional declaration only. The only difference that a function name cannot be used here in the starting. That means you have put the name here. In this particular case, you will not have any name of the function. That is something we will call as a what? Anonymous function. Okay. So anonymous function are created in functional expressions, and the function expression run as soon as they are defined. They will run as soon as they are defined. They will not play any part in the hoisting because they are part of this what? Variable. So variable test is equals to function. Then since it's anonymous, you will not have any name in this. Okay. So remember previously you will have a function. After that you have functional name. Here you will not have any name. You just have the parameters directly here. Can you spot the difference between these two or not? So in the variable hoisting, let's say we had seen here that if you're trying to access num, see in the first go, JavaScript will run scan through the program. It will make a note of num variable in the scope, and it by default it will be the undefined. The same way, if you run this, JavaScript will first scan through the program. It will first make a note of the test or every variable that is used here. So since it is anonymous, it is act as a variable only. So first of all, when you run this or when you JavaScript will scan through the program, in the scope, you will have the variable called as test here, and by default the value of it is what? Undefined. So now if you try to run this particular var test, this entire program, and above that if you try to run this, it will show what? Error or not? What will be the output in this? let's say if I have this where list is equals to function console.log I. If I'm trying to run my program like this, paste, so I'm asking you what would be the output of this error. But which error? From now onwards, I need to know be specific with your error. Everyone knows that it will not compile because you are using variable. Undefined तो कब आएगा? मैं just ऐसा लॉग करूँ console log this. Don't tell me output of this. First of all, can tell me the output of this. Okay, let's run this. You can see it's undefined, right? So by any way, can I say कि कोई भी variable होगा, any variable is there, unless it is not assigned, it will show you output undefined. So you are not bothered that this variable is undefined, this variable is function. You are not bothered about it. First, JavaScript will just scan through it and it will encounter this where num. It will have the log of this num. It will store undefined in that. You are not bothered about what is been assigned afterwards. Similarly, in this particular case, JavaScript will run through the scan through the program. It will make a log of this test. You are not bothered about it whether what is inside, what is in the right side. Unless you are accessing this assignment operator, you are not bothering about what is there in right side. So that is why the test has been act as a normal variable and it has given you the output undefined. Yeah. Okay. Mac, anything you will run, first of all, it will show you undefined for everyone, for everything. Yeah. So your actual output is this. Okay, don't think about it. Okay. Now, if I'm trying to run this, this one test, what it will give me out output. If you want to understand that, tell me the output of this first. If I will try to run this num, like if I'm trying to run this num here, like this, console.num would be anyway undefined. But if I'm trying to run this num here, what it will give me the answer? Like this way, if I'm telling you this by this way that console.log num, this was your particular program, right? So I'm trying to access this, like this is anyway undefined, right? But I'm trying to access this num right now, this like this. So what would be the output of this? Or you can, I want to just explain this by this, like this. What would be the output of this? क्यों पहले तो आप लोग undefined बोल रहे थे? Everyone was saying undefined. Now you are saying error. Error, then which error? Don't just write error. Not declared, not defined, not function error. First of all, tell me that it will run or not. Like it will show me some error or it will show me some output. Everyone should participate in that, please. So first one will be the undefined. Second one would be the error. Okay. Okay, let's see. So see, this is saying in me that num is not a function. Why? Because it will run through the program. It also has scanned through the program. It has seen that where num is there. So where num, that means num is a variable. So variable cannot be called like this. Only functions can call like this, right? Similarly, Similarly, in our case, we had uh, this. Okay, where test is equals to function. Inside of this, I had console dot log I, and I was trying to access this by this, that like test. Now, so what would be the output in this? See, JavaScript will again first run through the program, scan through the program. It has encountered that it is where test, that means where test is a variable. It will not go this one. It will not go in this part because it will just go in this part only. It will just scan through the program and it will just execute this one. That test is a variable, by default is undefined. So if you try to access a variable by this, then you will have error that test is not a function. Okay, let me just refresh the page. Okay, you can see that test is not a function, right? Because since test is a variable here. Once it will assign a function in this test, you can, if you're trying to run this, then you will have a proper output. Then you will get the proper output. Let me remove this. Right? Clear with these points now? कल से थोड़ा ज्यादा क्लियर हुआ ना? Right? So every day we'll learn something, more in depth. So just participate in the lectures and don't miss any of the lecture. Okay? So that was all about the functional expressions. Now we'll see something called as nested loop. Okay? We'll see something called as a nested loop. You want guys a break or not? Because today we have just 2 hours of class. After defining the function, then into test variable, it can be used as a function. Yes. If everyone says no, we'll not take a break. That's great. Okay. So what do you mean by the nest? Nest is what? Everyone, one inside another, loop inside another loop. But I want the answer in general. What do you mean by the nest? If you don't know, nest meaning, right? See, read this. Bird's home, right? Right or not? That means like this. You see, every stick is binded to another stick. Right? Every little stick or leaves or anything that is used to make this nest would be bind tightly to another thing. Now, each and everything, and it will entirely make a beautiful home for a bird. That's the same way. JavaScript nesting, like nesting in general, nesting or nested loops. So the single loop is what? Single loop is this. Single loop is this. But if you have a nested loop, that means inside this loop there will be another loop. Inside this loop there will be another loop. This is something called as a nesting. Okay. Similarly, if you have a condition like if, inside of this another condition if, inside of this says another condition if. That means if this is true, you have to do, if you have to check this is true or not. If this is true, then you have to check again this is true or not. This is something known as a nesting, or something called as a nested if else. So in Monday's class also we look something called as a pattern programs, pattern problems. Like this you have to print. Yeah. Over there also we'll use the nesting loops. Let's say we will also loop this into this. Like there will be one loop. Inside this there will be another loop. So this is something called as a nested loops. Yes? Yes, no? Everyone, please participate. Cool. Okay, so now this is something known as a nested loop. So this is also example of nested loop. Huh? This says, see in this first for loop, there's another J loop. Na? I loop, another J loop. So this is something called a nested loop. And we'll look into it. So now we'll solve this out. Who has this doubt? Can anybody tell me? Like who has posted this doubt? I don't know the name. Whose doubt is this? Shantanu, right? Okay. Okay, so Shantanu, can you please tell me the meaning of this? 1 plus is equals to 10. So before that, just hold on. I'll just clear this up, and I'm just doing this, that where I is equals to I plus 10. Okay, I is equals to 0 now. Okay, so you can also write this statement where I is equals to I plus 10 by this, that I plus is equals to 10. This both will have the same meaning. Okay, so if we debug this program, let's debug this. Shantanu, have you debugged this program or not? Okay, if you are saying yes, then let's see. Okay, that's okay. So first of all, JavaScript will scan through the loops, or JavaScript will scan through the functions and the variables. Let's see, in the global variable we have something called as one or not. O-N-E. Okay, there's nothing called as one here. That means this one is not there. That means this one is not defined. So, but I will be defined. Now I will be defined. So if you want to check the value of I, no, for once you will initialize it, then only it will be logged. So if you now check the I, it should be there. Okay, so I is there right now, right? Now you will check the condition. I 0 is less than 5 not. That's true. You will go inside. You will try to access this 1 is equals to 1 plus 1, but you don't have anything called as 1 right now. Do you have anything called as 1 or not? Let's check it. Still, I don't think so. 1 is there or not? No, 1 is not there, right? That means 1 is not defined. That's the same error you are getting. So you have debug your program in your mind. You will come to know this error, right, Shantanu? Yes, you can also debug the program in Firefox as well. Mac can do that. Okay. Okay. So Navneet says now that sir, can we do this? That no, will first inside of this will declare a variable called as one, right? Anna, Navneet, you are telling me to do this? Yes. Let's run this program again. Now JavaScript will first scan through the program. Anna, it will check every variable. So one is variable, so one will be logged now. You should check it now. So one is locked. This by the value undefined. Okay, let's go afterwards. I is initialized. This condition will be anyway true. You will be go in that. Now this one is equals to 1 plus 1. Okay, so it will execute that. But remember, one is right now undefined. Okay, so let's see what it will do. Take the value of 1 now. ONE. Okay, it will give the output nan. Why? Why? Because see, if you do anything like this, that undefined plus 1, what is the output? Undefined plus 5. What is the output? So here also it was undefined. 1 was undefined. So you were trying to access 1 is equals to 1 plus 1. That means undefined plus 1. So 1 will be assigned with what? Undefined. So nan, right? Okay. Okay. So Shantanu is saying again that, sir, can we do this? Where 1 is equals to 0. Shantanu, you are telling me to do this, right? Let's debug this. Oh, so sorry. It's already been in the debug. So I have to close this. I'll run my program again. Okay. Okay. Now we'll check this. Now, if you see, 1 will be initialized with, okay, I'll refresh the page. I'll refresh the page. I'm doing this again. Now, if you will check the variable's value 1 is undefined right now because where, sorry, let me close this. I have to initialize it with, right? Refresh and is equals to 0. Okay. Okay. If you will check the value of 1 now, ONE, that is undefined, right? Why? Because it has scanned through the programs, entire program. It has logged the variable use, that is 1. By default value of 1 is undefined. Correct? Till this point, it's correct, right? Everyone, Shantanu, it's correct, right? Anna? Okay. Now, if I'm going further, it will assign the 0 value to 1. If you will check again, the value of 1, that will be changed now, that will be 0. Now you will initialize the I. You will check this is true. You will go after this. So 1 is equals to 1 plus 1. That means 0 plus 1. Internally, it will execute this. Okay. So it will be execute 5 times. 0 plus 1 will be 1. Second time, the 1 value would be 1. So 1 plus 1 would be 2. The third time, 2 plus 1 would be 3. Fourth time, fifth time, this means 4 plus 1 would be 5. And it will exit now. And the value would be written as 5. Clear? Hai? Fine. So debug like this. Shantanu, I don't think so that you will have any problem in future regarding this kind of things. You can debug this from your own, right? Everyone, this is for everyone, not for just Shantanu. You should debug your program. you should know which specific error it should throw and why. Okay. Now let's come to the final program that is for all today. Clear this up and this. Okay. So we'll see and compile our program in our mind where I is equal to 0, j equals 0. There is one loop, there is a second loop. Instead of this, you are checking that I is greater than 1. You should break it and the console will log ij. Can anyone tell me what would be the output of this? What would be the output of this? I'm giving you 5 minutes to think of. Okay? Try to debug this in your mind, in note paper or in your mind also, and tell me the output. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Will it work? Everyone should make a practice of this debugging the thing in your mind. Okay? So take a note paper, or if you are comfortable, then you can also think in your mind also. Both would be fine, but preferable is note paper. Initialize a variable called as I, initialize a variable called as j, assign it the value of 0, 0, run through the loop every time. And if it's executing the break, then break the loop and print the value of ij, whatever you want to do. Okay, and just tell me in the final what are the outputs. Okay, so your 5 minutes would be starts now, and we'll be back at 12:28. Okay. Okay, so tell me the output that you are getting. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 3. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see what is the output. So anyone has posted this output? 0414203040. Anyone? I don't think so. Everyone was wrong, right? Don't worry, you are wrong. No, and no one has posted this output, but at least you have tried, right? So let's, yeah, how, right? Okay, Mac, you posted, right? That's great. That's truly, appreciated. Debugger. It was a long loop. Okay, fine. Okay. So let's debug the thing. Initially, you have the variables ij. It will lock the variable value of ij as undefined. Okay, right now I'm clearing up because I have run the program once. That means it has assigned the value. Okay, na? Okay, copy. Debugger. Okay. So my variables value of ij would be initialized with the 0. I0, j is again 0. Okay. First line has been executed, ij 0, 0. Then I will check whether 0 is less than 5, I plus plus. I will enter in the loop. I will check again, j is 0 less than 4. That's correct. I'll again enter in the loop. I is greater than 1 or not? No, I is not greater than 1. So it will not execute this break or this if loop. It will initialize, it will lock the ij, I think so. It's not, it should do. Okay, okay. Okay, fine. See, this loop is entirely running on a different thing. So see, I got the point, I got the gist. Let me just first tell you, Okay, it's visible now. My screen is visible, everyone? It's readable, right? Okay, so I'll refresh the page. I'm telling you what would be the output. Okay, copy, done. Okay, I and j would be initialized with 0, 0. Then you will check 0 is less than 5, that means true. Will enter in the loop. J is also initialized with 0, 0 less than 4, that means true. Will again enter in the loop. Now we'll check 0 is greater than 1 or not. It's false, right? So it will not execute this break statement. It will again go in the for loop because this console.log is outside of loop. This is outside of this for loop. So you will have to first execute this entire loop, then only you can execute this. So now you will check this, increment the j with value 1. 1 is less than equals to 4 or not. It's true. We'll check 1 is greater than 1 or not. It's false, right? We'll again increment the thing. Okay, now you will j will be initialized with the incremented to the 2. So we will check 2 less than equals to 4 or not. It's true. 2 is greater than 1 or not. It's again, it will be false. See, no, I. Okay. So 0 is greater than 1. It is false. It will again initialize with the loop. Similarly, 3. Now the value of j would be 3. It will initialize it. We'll check 4 less than 4 is true or not. It's false. So it will go outside of the loop. It will print i's value and jth value 0 and 4. Okay. Log the value. It will go in the outside of loop. It will increment the I now. I will be incremented to 0 to 1. Condition would be check 1 less than 5 or not. It's true. It will again go inside the loop. J would be initialized again with the 0. Okay. 0 is less than 4. The condition would be true. Instead of this, you will check ith value is 1 right now. So 1 greater than 1 is not true, it's false. So similarly, your loop will be run at like 4 times till the j would be 4. 2, 3, and after the fourth, loop would be break, and it will come in this particular log. Ith value is right now 1, jth value is 4. It will increment again the loop of I. So I would be incremented to 2 now. You will check the value of 2 less than equals to 5 or not. That means it's true. Okay, you will enter in the loop. J will be again 0. Okay, now you will check whether j is less than 4 or not. It's true. Now in this particular case, this ith value is right now 2. So this particular condition will be true for the first time. You will execute this break. That means you will break this particular loop. You will enter in this. So this will be 2 and 0. Okay. Similarly, you have 3. Inside this 3 also your condition would be true every time. So similarly, it will be ith value would be 3 and j would be 0. Similarly, for the fourth case. That is how your output would be. Am I clear with this? Navneet, in the whiteboard, you can't able to understand it. I think so. Because okay, let me try this. I'll explain this in the whiteboard. Okay. Okay. So now, for now, your ith value. Okay, Shantanu, I'm explaining here again. This is your ith value. This is your jth value. Okay. You are initializing with what? 0, 0. So first of all, it's 0, 0 right now. In the loop, for the first time, it will execute for I is equals to 0, I less than 5, I less than 5, I plus plus. Just a second. Give me 1 minute. Just a second. I'm getting the call. Okay. So you will be executing this loop where I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, right? So this I is equals to 0 here. I less than 5 would be true now. We'll enter in the loop. You will check j equals to 0, j less than 4. It will be again true. You will enter in the loop. Your I is greater than 1 or not. 0 is greater than 1 or not. It's not, right? So we'll break it. It will not go inside this particular thing. So you break will not be get executed since this is not true. You will come in this particular point. You will again initialize the value of j. You will increment the value of j now. The j would be incremented to 1. Similarly for 2, similarly for 3, similarly for 4. Nothing would be happening. It would come outside. It will print the value of ij. That means 0 and 4. So first would be printed as 0 and 4. Similarly, it will be get printed for like it will now immediately increment the value of I now. It will come in the outer side of loop. That means 0 would be incremented to 1 now. You will again enter in the loop. So your new value of j would be 0 right now. People, are you with me right now? Okay, na? Everyone is with me right now? Yes? Okay. So with the value of 0 of j, with the value of 1 of I, you will enter in the loop again. You will check whether 1 is greater than 1 or not. It's wrong, right? It's wrong, right? So it will not execute this again. Similarly, you will have you will increment the value of j again. So 0, similarly for 1, similarly for 2, similarly for 3, similarly for 4. Nothing would be happening. Okay. So Apple, you are confused in which point? I should greater than 1. Yeah, but right now I is 1, right? So 1 is not, this would be written in the false. 1 is not greater than 1. 1 is equals to 1, but 1 is not greater than 1. Okay, that is why it is returning false. Right? right Apple? Na? Okay. So similarly, it will give the output of 1, 4 now. Yeah? So this is your output window. First of all, it has printed 0 and 4. Now it will print 1 and 4. Na? Now again your loop will be run. Na? So you will execute. Right now you have executed this line. Your I loop will be incremented again. That means your ith value now from 1 to 2. Okay. And jth value would be again initialized with the 0. Okay, so this would be removed and it will be 0. Now this condition of I greater than 1 would be executed for the first time. It will be give the output of true, and you will break the loop. So break means that you need to break this particular loop. Okay, and you will land here. That means your output would be ith value would be right now 2, and the jth value was 0, right? It was 0, 0, 2 and 0, right? Now again you will increment your value of I. That means from the 2 now it will be 3. Jth value would be initialized with a 0 again. You will check whether I is greater than 1 or not. 3 is greater than 1 is that is true. That means you will print the again this thing, that is 3 and 0. Again it will be break and initialized with the for loop of I. So your 3 would be incremented to 4 now. Okay, you will again initialize the value of j as 0. It's already 0. You will break. This statement would be executed for now, like break, because 4 is greater than 1, it is true. It will land up in here, console.log ij, that means 4 and 0. So that is why it is printing like this. Ij less than 4, so it should go up to 3. Yes, it should go up to 3, but see, after 3, after your value of j is 3, it is doing plus plus. That means your jth value would be incremented to 4, and it will check whether 4 is less than or equals to, whether 4 is less than 4 or not. Since it is false, that is why it is breaking the loop and going back to the ith. Okay, fine. Divyakanta, okay na? Everyone cool? No, it's not tricky, Parag. You have to debug. That's all. It's not tricky at all. If you practice, try more and more problems, you will get your answers for sure. This is something base of DSA. You can say that your DSA has been started now. Yeah, it's just lengthy but not tricky. Okay, so if you want to try, then just try with j less than 2 and I less than 2. Only instead of this 5 and 4, just try with small values so that you can complete your program fast. Or else just try here, put in debugger. You will get your points and check the value of ij every time. Here, so debugger is your lifesaver. Don't you feel so? Debugger is pretty much helpful. Without debugger, it will be tricky without debugger. But it's not system since we have the debugger things. Yes, sir, it's a lifeline. Yes, Nilanjan, it's absolutely the lifeline. Okay, so Vishal, this kind of things, like everyone, this kind of debugging the things of in the JavaScript, this would not be taught to you in beginning, but since I want you to be pro in JavaScript, that's why I taught you in beginning. If you go to any of other lectures, you will not find to this kind of things of debugging the thing in initial days of yours. Like you are right now not a pro, but you have some knowledge priorly, right? That is why I taught you the debugger. It's very helpful. It will be for you till the lifelong. Like I'm also using debugger in my professional career right now. Everyone is using debugger. Without debugger, you can't exist. That's all. Yes, that's very important point that Nilanjan has said just now. Without before the putting debugger, you should think as a debugger, and to get the concept like this way that we did right now. You should think like this. For that only I gave you the 5 minutes. You should do this on your pen and paper. Yes, you can use it in the Chrome. Like you can get that this is also Chrome. Like this is also based on Chrome, right? So this is also based on Chrome. So don't worry. It's from Chrome also. You will have the same UI. It's just a wrapper above the Chrome. It's known as the Brave browser. So don't go into that. It's cool. Okay. So anything else that you want to discuss now? Since we have covered all the doubts. Anything else that you want me to discuss? Anyone? Anybody? Assignments, right? So Mahek, for the assignments, please contact to Anshul. He will get back to me with the assignments thing, and I will get it done for you. Don't worry. Assignments would be anyway be discussed if you have any doubt. Okay? Discuss internally as well. Discuss in the with the TS as well, and then any doubts is remaining, you can also come up with me in this particular sessions, like doubt sessions. For that particular case of a square plus b square equals to a case, you can tell Anshul, he will get back to me. Okay, Dishi, I'll ask her. I'll ask him to get it. Assignments are already discussed in Dout session. You have 2xs. What do you mean by 2xs? Palindrome program. Okay. Okay, let me just explain you what do you mean by the palindrome. Okay. Okay, so what do you mean by the palindrome? I'll just explain you. Then if time permits, then we'll discuss today. Otherwise, we'll discuss in the next section. Okay, is that fine with you? So first of all, I'll just tell you what do you mean by the palindrome. Do anyone from you have some idea what do you mean by the palindrome? Yes, so it has been discussed in the Dout session, right? Okay, so please be in the part of the Dout session that will be conducted by the TS. Yesterday he has discussed, and he has also discussed the assignments as I have been informed. Okay, so palindromes, I will be explaining it for you, those who don't know. Yes, the word is the word and the reverse of the word that is same. Can you give me some example of palindrome? Can anyone give me some example of palindrome? Okay, so see, let's say for an example, something word called as a radar. Okay, so if you reverse this word, what will you get? Radar only, right? So the word and reverse of the word, if this both are the same, then you can call that this word is a palindrome. Okay, madam also, mom also, SOS also, anything that can be done, it's a palindrome. So what could be your logic for this? So what will be your logic for this? Okay, so can you write a program that will reverse a string? Can you write a program that will reverse a string? You need to think, right? Okay, think, don't worry. Okay, and one more thing. I think so. Someone has asked me in the previous session, sir, how to take the input from the user, right? So I will just tell you so that you can also do this. So you should do this prompt. Inside of this prompt, you can pass any of the string. Let's say enter the string. Okay. If you do this, so you'll have this particular prompt. Inside of that, you can enter your string. Let's say radar. If you click on this OK, if you click on this OK, you will get the string. Okay. That is how you can take the input from the user. Okay. And if you want to store the value of that particular string, then you can access this like this, where str is equals to prompt. Instead of this, you can pass any message like enter the string. Okay. So the pop-up would become like this. You can enter the string like mom, and click on OK. And now if you try to access this str, it will have the string of called as mom. This is how you can take the input from the user. Am I clear? Am I clear how to take the input from the user? How to input user as we do in websites which do not show alert. Nilanjan, that would be covered by the UI developers, not from you. Okay. So for now, for temporary purpose, you can just take input from the user by this, and you can complete the assignments. Yeah, you can also do this, Shantanu. Okay. So okay, now Navneet says fab from start to end. Yes. Okay. Ojas, I told you that no, just like this. You should just call this particular function called as prompt. Instead of that, you can pass your message, enter a string, and the variable which you want to hold the value of whichever the user will enter. If you click on enter like this, this alert would become. You can enter anything in this SOS. If you click on OK, your this str string, this str variable would now hold your value which was entered by user. That's what I told you. Okay. So I explained the concept of the palindrome. Now I'll just tell you, if you reverse a string, okay, what will be our logic here? Whatever string has been given to you, you have to reverse the string. That will be a first step. You have to check whether this string, like reverse string, is same as input string or not. If this is same, then your answer is palindrome. If this is not, then your answer is string is not a palindrome. Am I clear with this logic? Mac, I have not covered how to reverse a number. I have 10 problems. I will discuss in the actual session, which will be on, I think so, Monday or Wednesday. It would be clear, like 10 problems I have. We'll solve entire 10 problems like we did for the problem solving before with the help of if else. We did earlier. The same way will we do for the for loop, while loop, and again for the iterations like if and else. Yeah. In this particular case also we'll discuss like this. And in this particular case, there is one question to reverse a number. Okay. Okay. So you need to find and you need to think for the logic how to reverse a string. It's pretty simple, where you have to make a, like, string is what? Array of character. So you need to access the string from the reverse side. From the reverse side, you need to access the string and you need to reverse the string. Like, you need to first put the character of R, then A, then D, then A, and then again R. This string is made, whatever is made, you have to compare the string to the initial string that was radar. If this is the same, like this string and new string are same, then your answer is palindrome. Otherwise, it's not. That is the logic. Okay. Okay. Try to do this program and try to write the program. Try to enhance your logic capability skills. I have already told the logic. Now you need to think how to implement this in code. ठीक है, cool. Can we use switch case into the loop? You can use anything inside the loop. It's just that if you write like anything like this, for I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. If you write anything between this, you can write anything, everything in between this. But just the thing that whatever is been written in this, it will be run for 5 times. You need to take this in the mind. Okay, Shantanu, you can write anything inside the loop. Okay. Okay, so need to store single character instead of whole word. I would not I'll not tell you that, you know, do whatever you want, but just reverse the string and check it whether it's true or not. Or also you can also try this thing that you can also use some inbuilt function of string as of now, but I will not prefer to do that in our actual coding. Okay. Okay. So the main core part of this is like reverse string. That is all. Okay. I hope I am clear with this particular point. Okay. So any other point that you want me to discuss for today, or shall we close the session? Okay. So we'll meet tomorrow, and we'll start with the new topics. And one of the lectures would be dedicated to the problem solving. I have 10 specific problems that is being solved in the lecture. Okay. So we'll together solve it just the way we did earlier with the lecture of the if else problem solving, basic problem solving. Okay, we'll do advanced problem solving as well. Then we'll also solve some problems with respect to the functions that we have already learned. So we'll see actually in practically with this all in the next session. Today we have discussed a lot of doubts in comparison of hosting. I solved a lot of doubt for your programming, the syntax errors, the logical errors. So we'll cover all this, and we'll meet on Monday. So please revise all of the things that we did earlier. Need help in calculator assignment, that how to start writing the logic. So okay, just in case of calculator, I'll tell you the logic. First, you need to take the input from user, that whether he needs to make addition or subtraction or division or what. Or else you can just take input as 25 plus 7. That would be much more different. That would be much more difficult for you. So you just use the switch case. Inside of this switch case, you can take the variable. Okay. In this particular switch case, you can pass whether he needs to addition or not. If he wants to add, then you can add this two numbers, which will be passed from the user. So 25 plus 17, you can pass this like A plus B. Return A plus B, you can implement such as like this. Similarly for the case of multiplication, similarly for division, similarly for subtraction. So you can implement this kind of cases. Also, if you don't want to use this, then use if else. If else if this if is for addition, this is for multiplication, this is for division. So this you can implement things like this as well, and you can implement your calculator app. Okay, just can you do this? Okay, and yeah, don't hesitate to do R&D. If something that is you think that this is important, and I'm facing some issues in that, read from the resources that I have already been given to you. Watch recordings again. You will find your answers for sure. Net logic, what is the last print statement? Last print statement would be the answer. Like if you are doing addition, then 25 plus 17 would be your like it would be give 32. So 32 would be printed in the screen. That's all. Also, you can print like that the addition of 25 plus 17 is equal to 32. Also, this also you can print in the screen. Okay. Sweet. where we should write the code to paste in assignment, because it's asking for link. Okay, Nilu, I would prefer that for this case you can contact to Anshul, or you can just prepare a file in VS Code or anything like that. And Shubham says go on Google Docs also, it would be fine. Or you can also post entire file of JS also. That would be also fine. And I think so it will be it would expect a link only, right? But for the confirmation, you can ask to any TA or Anshul for this. It will be happy to help you on this. Okay, cool. Okay. So thank you for the joining. Thank you for the time of this Sunday. Again, good afternoon. Take your lunch. Be prepared for the next session. Watch more recordings. Do your work properly. And okay. Okay, so he has posted some steps. Please follow that. He has posted some steps. Please follow that and please copy and paste that. You can you will be land in the safe zone. ठीक है? Yes, Sunil. I think that would be some issues with your end. If you have any doubt, then please ask. It's like number 1 plus number 2. Yes, it's like number 1 plus number 2. Correct. Okay. Yeah, you need to add, you need to multiply, you need to subtract, you need to divide two numbers. That is something known as a calculator. Also, you can do modulo operation as well if you want to integrate in that. Okay. Dollar is not needed. Now he's like, you can just assume that is number 1 plus number 2. Dollar is not there. Okay. Have a good day and thanks for joining on Sunday. Okay, have a great weekend ahead and we'll meet tomorrow on Monday at the same time, 8 p.m. Okay, okay, bye. Okay, great. Okay, yeah, thank you, Santanu. I think so everyone has enjoyed the session. Some insight with the hosting also. Okay. Clear the concepts. That's what is needed and that's what is expected from these sessions. Okay, so learn properly, do your work and watch some recordings. Okay, we'll meet again tomorrow. Okay, goodbye. Till that point, bye.